and welcome to our Culture Magazine here on I-24 News. I'm Oded Grober. Thank you so much for joining us. Today on our show, the authors of the new Israeli wine guide will be here in the studio. The Cartier Contemporary Art Foundation celebrates 30 years. And the music of the upcoming 2014 World Cup. First, some of today's cultural headlines. Gordon Willis, the American cinematographer known for his work on the Godfather films, died at the age of 82 on Sunday. Willis was responsible for shooting countless seminal films, among them 70s classics such as Klut, The Parallax View, and All the President's Men. Willis also collaborated with Woody Allen on such films as Stardust Memories and The Purple Rose of Cairo. For his work on Allen's Zelig and on The Godfather Part 2, Willis was nominated for an Academy Award, which he never won, but he did receive an honorary Oscar in 2009 for unsuppressed mastery of light, shadow, color, and motion. Willis was nicknamed the Prince of Darkness for his use of shadows, and his contribution to the art of cinema was invaluable. YouTube has announced it's buying video game streaming service Twitch for $1 billion. The company streams video gaming events and game-related talk shows and also allows users to stream videos of their own gameplay. The company says it has more than 45 million monthly users with more than 1 million contributing members who upload videos each month. The acquisition will be the largest in YouTube's history since it was bought by Google in 2006. Microsoft also tried to acquire Twitch, but Google came out on top with an offer they could not refuse. And Israeli filmmaker Tom Shoval has won the prestigious Rolex Mentorship and Protege Initiative. Shoval won over 2 other finalists in the film category and was chosen by filmmaker Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu. The Mentorship Initiative was founded a decade ago, and Shoval is the first Israeli to receive the honor. Shoval will accompany Inarritu in the filming of his upcoming movie, The Revenant, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, and Inarritu will guide Shoval in the filming of his next project. Shoval was here in the studio in March and told us about the Mentorship Initiative.
Yeah. And you go to a lot of levels, and it's like a little reality show inside. You know, you have to present your film and to show a lot of what you are going to do next and stuff like that. And I got into the finals.
Yair Gat is a journalist writing about wine at Israel Today newspaper, and Gal Zohar is a wine curator and consultant. Together, they published the new Israeli Wine Guide, a digital booklet rating the top 70 wines in Israel. Very happy to welcome them in our studio, and with what they need to go through an interview. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
A pleasure.
So, let's talk about wine. I mean, you're helping yourselves. I unfortunately have a show to make after the interview. But tell me a little bit about wine culture in Israel, because Israel did not have much of a drinking culture, but now it seems that we got it.
Yeah, I think that things are improving all the time. I think we reached a point where people are not only making better wine, but people also demanding to drink better wine. Mm-hmm. So it leads to a point where everyone is starting or trying to do better quality. And although people are not drinking more, because we're still relatively a country that drinks quite little, but they're drinking better.
Which I guess is also counts for something.
Yes, and that's put us in one of the most interesting times in the history of the Israeli wine, because everybody's trying to do something new, mm-hmm. and that's exciting.
Yeah, and I think some of the credit would go to Daniel Rogov, who wrote the first guide for Israeli wines. He died a few years ago. You're continuing his work in a way?
Are we?
I think, Rogov is amazing, and his work is really incomparable to what we do now, because he published a guide with 500, 600 wines,
Right.
and he did it as a full-time job and had the credential from the whole world as being the leading expert on Israeli wines. So we tried to pick up in a way from where he ended his work, but we're doing it completely different. It's a different style. It's a different style of tasting the wine. It's a different style of writing about the wine. It's a different format because it's digital. So, I mean, we're doing something that is more adapted to ourselves.
All right. So what did you try to do?
And for these times,
Okay.
because Daniel Rogov is a part of the times that will never happen again.
I see.
What have we trying to do?
Yeah. What is it that you're trying to achieve with the guide?
We're trying to put... Go ahead. No?
The first thing we realized that Israel, like any other wine country, must have someone who talk to people outside the country about its wines.
Okay.
Most of the new world's wine countries are having one or two persons like that promote. I don't like the word, but promoting, announcing the very interesting things that's happening here.
Yeah.
Abroad.
And on the international stage, is Israel a real contender when it comes to the quality of wines?
Israel is no contender.
Okay.
Israel is contender mostly in the kosher wines. People are still referring Israel as a country that make kosher wines. We can't drink them, from religion reasons.
Yeah.
But we believe they are making real quality wines around here. Israel is a very old, ancient wine country in the one side and very new wine country in the other side. And we believe the Israeli wine must have an international voice that get him out of out of the ghetto,
Yeah.
out of the kosher ghetto, and into the world of the wine lovers, and he can stand shoulder to shoulder with a lot of other wines from other countries.
Is there something special about Israeli wine? Is some wineries in Israel specialize in something that would make it stand out?
I think that up until recently, they would mainly concentrate on Cabernet and Merlot, Sauvignon, Chardonnay, things you can basically find anywhere else. But I think in the last 5, 6, 7 years, Israel is starting to, or trying to find its roots. So they're trying to go back to what happened here 150, 160 years ago when they started making wine here, and trying to revive Mediterranean varietals that were very popular in the past, and since Cabernet and Merlot arrived, they kind of vanished almost completely. So I think now we have 3 or 4 grapes that, although they're not ours, because the grapes that were here in the ancient time, they don't exist anymore, or we're still trying to find them, but we're trying to concentrate on Mediterranean varietals, wine that are very food friendly and spicy, rich, but soft and super drinkable.
Nice.
So I think, yes, we have something that we can work with.
Good. Now, go ahead.
The first generation of winemaking in Israel has one goal, to prove they can make here drinkable wines.
Right.
And now we are in the second area of the Israeli wine, and
Taking
people
it
are
to the
trying
next level.
to find what is really interesting and what gonna make us unique.
Yeah.
And in wine, as you can see, all the cellars and stuff, it takes time.
Yeah, it certainly does. Gal Zohar and Yair Gat, thank you so much.
Our pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Now, 30 years ago, Cartier created the Cartier Foundation for Contemporary Art, a pioneering initiative supporting artists and their work. To celebrate its anniversary, the foundation organized the exhibition Vivid Memories, containing some of their most memorable achievements. Margot Stellman has the story.
When people think of Cartier, they obviously think of jewelry, watches, and luxury accessories. But there's another side to the brand through the activities of the Cartier Foundation for Contemporary Art. For the last 3 decades, the foundation has been on a mission to expose new kinds of art by giving carte blanche to artists from around the world, designers, musicians, mathematicians, and directors to create original, eclectic, and independent art. The foundation strives to be a source of new artistic movements since the 1980s and organizes events such as Nomadic Nights and Nights of Uncertainty, unusual performances, and art gatherings. Unlike other brands, Cartier strictly separates its business side from their artistic endeavors. The foundation has organized several major exhibitions, such as the one in 2003 dedicated to the Yanomami Indians of the Amazon, and boosted the careers of many artists, including Philippe Starck and Mark Newson.
Vivre l'eau.
To celebrate these 3 rich decades of long history, the Foundation is holding an exhibition entitled Vivid Memories from May 10th. Accompanied by concerts and festive events, audiences can view some of the most emblematic works of the collection from the last 30 years.
Soon we'll hear about the music that will accompany this year's World Cup. But first, a few cultural highlights from around the world.
Musrara Mix is an international multimedia art festival that takes place annually in the Musrara neighborhood of Jerusalem. The festival is a hub of artistic and social happenings, embodying the political and cultural essence of Jerusalem in particular and Israel as a whole. This year, the festival will focus on the theme of the analog and will be held between the 20th and the 22nd of May. Urbes Mutantes is a display of Latin American photography from 1944 to 2013. The exhibition draws particularly on street photography of the city during decades of political and social turmoil. It explores public space as a platform for protest, popular street culture, poverty, and characteristics of the city life. Urbes Mutantes is on view through September 7th of 2014. Keep Your Eye on the Wall. It's documentary, emotional, and intellectual exploration of the complex structure known as the Israeli Separation Wall. The exhibition brings together 7 award-winning artists, photographers, and essayists, all responding to the wall in images or words. You can see it until the 19th of June at the French-German Cultural Center in Ramallah.
And our world music expert, Daniel Campos, is here in the studio. Hi, Daniel.
Hello, Aded. How are you?
I'm doing great. What are we going to listen to while watching football?
Well, we're going to do an overview of the World Cup songs. We're going to have a focus on the latest song, Ole Ola by Pitbull, which is the latest song. But let's start out talking about the first 1998 song, Youssou N'Dour and Axel Red, La Cour de Grand. Wonderful tune.
Yeah.
I would say a bit of ethnic vibes. Youssou N'Dour is from Senegal. France 98 was a great World Cup. I really dig the song. I think it's very unique. I think they did a well selection. Then we have, in 2002, Ricky Martin got the song, La Copa de la Vida was the name of the song. We all remember it was a big hit. That was the Korea-Japan World Cup.
Yeah.
Very catchy.
Yeah.
And then
it's also pretty important, you know. I mean, you gotta. It's a whole business. The World Cup. It's not just about football. There's music. There's tourism. They do everything they can.
A whole industry behind it.
Yeah.
Then in 2006, in the Germany World Cup, we had Tony Braxton and Il Divo having this very cheesy, slow, boring song, in my opinion.
I'm not sure what they were thinking then.
No relation to soccer. It looks more like, I don't know, like a song for a telenovela, less for a World Cup, in my opinion. Then in 2010, we have the song Waka Waka, this time for Africa. Shakira and Freshly Ground from South Africa.
Yeah.
It was a very big hit. This song was actually, Shakira took the rhythms from a 1980 song, which was very popular in Cameroon. She had to pay them royalties eventually, for not giving credit in the beginning. And and now we are going to talk about Pitbull.
Yeah.
The new World Cup. The new World Cup is taking place in Brazil, and they're giving a song to a musician who's not from Brazil. To me, in my opinion, he's there's no relation to football at all. Look at the way he dances and everything. I really don't know why. It's with J-Lo and Claudia Leite. And in my opinion, I don't know, I think the World Cup should also be a platform to promote local musicians from the countries where the World Cup is taking place, and not promoting someone so commercial as Pitbull, who already has his career made, you know.
Well, you know, it has to be, I think, somewhere in the middle, and Pitbull, he could do a good job with that. I mean, he did a decent job. No, it'll play good. I think that when you're playing the FIFA, the World Cup video game, you'd like this song to be playing in the background,
Well,
not something.
I mean, it depends. Again, it's very, very poppy, very mainstream. There's also some Brazilian singers on the soundtrack. Sergio Mendes, legendary, representative Brazilian music abroad. But yeah, I mean, what can we expect from this World Cup?
Well, we'll see what happens in 4 years.
There's also a protest song against it, which could also be considered as one of the anthems.
Daniel Campos, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank you for joining us today for our show. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow with a whole new show. But until then, we'll leave you today with this music video, We Exist by Arcade Fire, which features the actor Andrew Garfield. You might know him as Spider-Man. This time, he's in a different kind of costume. Enjoy.